All right, so let's flip the script. We've talked a lot about me.
Yeah.
So let's hear about you.
Yeah.
So let's take it right back up to the top. How'd you get into the health industry? What got you here?
So mine was, I guess, actually a little bit less about my personal interests. Like I was, first of all, I mean, everybody knows that I love food, and I was very much interested in food on its own. And then I also really liked science, and I just kind of settled on something that was a combination of the two, right? So nutrition is kind of where food and science meet. A little bit, not all the way, but...
some kinds of science, yeah.
Yes. I did also consider actual food science, but that was really complicated, and I didn't want to do that. So...
Yeah, I think that'd make you enjoy food a lot less.
Well, and it's actually good that I didn't go into that, because now I have more of a whole foods approach, which is the exact opposite of what food science is. Yeah. But I liked science. I was good at science, and I liked the aspects of nutrition. But honestly, what got me most interested in going into, well, I guess studying nutrition was, I guess, just being a woman in the world growing up and seeing every single other woman in my life constantly on a diet, but like constantly in a battle. Mm-hmm. And it was always so frustrating, and it was just like this source of stress, and me thinking like, okay, why is this so hard? Like what? Like,
yeah,
isn't there an answer to this? Like, isn't there a right way to do this?
Isn't there just a right way to eat?
Is there more information? Like, why does this have to be so hard? So I was like, you know what? I want to find out why. I'm going to find out the answers.
Yeah, that sounds like you.
It was. I was like, you know what? I know there's got to be a better way, so I'm going to figure it out. And I would say that I kind of sort of got what I was looking for in school, but not completely. I would say I've learned more about what I originally went in to go figure out in these years like after college. Mm-hmm. So working at Lifetime and getting like a different perspective there, and then shifting more towards like a holistic health, whole body approach, whole foods approach to nutrition.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a major difference between reading about it in a textbook and then taking a person and figuring out, all right, what do we need to do to get you from here to here?
Yes.
And not only what could get you there, but what will you do to get from here to here? Like,
yes.
What will you actually accept?
Habits in changing, yeah, and like figuring out how to read somebody and understand their motivation.
Because like in this profession, you almost become like a pseudo-psychologist at times.
100%.
Because, yeah.
Well, it's not just about food. You know what I mean? It's
right.
Like food is something that people are so connected to, like it's a part of who they are. Somebody's like habits when it comes to their nutrition and food and the choices that they make mm-hmm. is so ingrained in like who they are as a person that when you try to ask someone to change it's difficult unless you are able to read the situation and meet them in a place that feels simpler for them. And like nothing about this process is easy and nothing about it is simple, but if you choose to become an expert on it and learn more about it, you definitely have more knowledge and experience on how certain types of people and how certain body types and how, you know, certain physiological functions follow certain patterns.
Yeah.
To be able to know where to start somebody.
Absolutely.
So that was, you know, the beginning part of my journey was like, okay, let's actually figure out what this is all about and figure out how to help people. And coming through all of that, now I understand how nuanced it really is and how every single person is so different, which is why I'll be learning for the rest of my life.
So did you have an idea in your head of what, like, going into nutrition, like once you'd settled on that as you're going into dietetics for school, did you have an idea in your head as to what that next step was for you career-wise?
I didn't, because I'll be honest, first of all, I think I didn't really know that dietetics really meant anything related to nutrition to begin with. Mm-hmm. I didn't really know what a dietitian was. So I didn't know what jobs were available to me because the only thing that I knew about a dietitian was that for the most part, they work in hospitals,
right.
Which is like what most people know about us.
Mm-hmm.
And we had an exploratory course in school, and I would say that it wasn't the most helpful. It did show me a couple of job options, but it didn't do a great job of mapping out like how many options were available.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that because dietitians in hospitals are kind of where we currently lack bodies, they were trying to steer us in that direction. So they were definitely trying to steer us in the direction of working in a hospital, doing nutrition therapy. So at first I was like, okay, well, that's what I'm going to do because...
You mean school has an agenda?
Right? Like, what? There's politics involved in education? Yeah, so, but then basically my program in school requires you to go through a 9-month internship where you go through all of these different rotations and you essentially try out different jobs related to the field, which is cool because it gave me an opportunity to realize that I did not want to work in a hospital. That is the last thing that I wanted to do, but it was still a good learning experience. And going through those different rotations definitely showed me what I was more interested in and what I was less interested in. And I came out feeling like I wanted to do more preventative stuff and knowing that like health isn't just helping sick people in a hospital, and health isn't just food related. So definitely learning more about overall health from the fitness side. And that's kind of where I got more interested in like fitness-based nutrition and obviously going to work for Lifetime and learning a lot of stuff, you know, during my time at Lifetime.
Well, because just because you're not sick doesn't mean you're in the greatest health, right?
No. So, and that's like something I learned after school where I was like, okay, so these people that aren't in the hospital, but these people who are on medications for certain other, you know, chronic diseases, or people who haven't been diagnosed with a chronic disease, who just like don't feel good. Like going back to, you know, like the frustration that is weight loss for women. Like there's also a lot of frustrations with like not getting great sleep or having crazy cravings or having really low energy throughout the day. So all of these things that I saw people struggling with, and I was like, there's an answer for that. I know there's got to be an answer for that. Let's figure it out. Let's learn more about it.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the most interesting things is when you start to look into even the basics of what we consider healthy from a hormone range. And you look at the bottom of the range and you look at the top of the range, and the difference in the effectiveness of your body at those hormone levels, but they're considered the same thing.
Oh, you have to think like, so let's take like a thyroid hormone, for example. If the bottom end of the range is like a 0.3 and the higher end of the range is a 5.0, and every 10th of a point is a decently significant difference, 0.3 to 5.0 is a big range.
It's massive.
Like you can't tell me that somebody at a 0.3 is functioning the same way as somebody at a 5.0. And doctors aren't going to argue that. They'll say absolutely there are differences. But in a doctor's mind, you're healthy at both ends.
Right.
But the reality is, even though you're, quote, healthy enough, you're still probably not feeling great.
If you're in the range, they're not going to do anything for you.
They're not going to do anything for you.
Yeah.
So if you're inside that range, a doctor is going to say, yeah, like you might be feeling some slight symptoms, but like your health is fine.
Yeah.
Your health is good. Like, sorry you feel this way. That's all I can do for you.
Yeah.
Unless you're outside the range, I can't do anything for you. And there's a huge gap there because we should be able to help you. We should be able to help you in that space between nothing and medication. Like something should exist there. And that's where, you know, functional medicine, and that's where nutritionists and dietitians can give a little bit of guidance, is helping you feel better and potentially helping you feel your best when conventional medicine can't help you.
Got it.
Yeah.
So along this entire time that you're going through nutrition, dietetics, all that, you start at Lifetime, everything else, did you ever think you'd be running your own business?
I guess I shouldn't say always. I feel like my experience in the hospital showed me that I wanted to be in charge of something, which, you know, matches my personality. And I didn't know exactly what that would look like, but I also felt weird about doing something in management because I still wanted to be able to work directly with people. I like to educate people. So, you know, educating a team was something I could see myself doing, but not without still being able to work individually with people one-on-one. And in all of that, I guess I played around with the idea that like maybe one day like I would be my own boss. I just had no idea what it would look like. And I really did think that there were going to be more steps for me between Lifetime and ever doing that.
Yeah.
And if I'm really honest with myself, like, had I not been encouraged to do that after Lifetime, I probably would have just lived my life and worked for someone else forever and always wanted to be my boss and then never had the courage to do it. That's probably what my future would have looked like, I'll be honest.
So are you glad you did it?
I am. I'm really glad I did it. It's been a really good learning experience. And if there was any time to do it, it was then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had support. I had, you know, a little bit of a cushion. I had no reason not to do it other than being scared. Right. So I'm definitely glad I did, because even if it's not something that I continue with forever, it's been really great for what I've needed it for.
Mm-hmm.
So whether this is just another step or whether this is something that I continue forever, like, it's been a great experience.
So is there a moment when you're like, yeah, I guess I'll just start my own business?
I think it was when, like, our whole team at Lifetime was crumbling. And I was like, well, I can't stay here. So, and I think I was still a little bit lost because everything that I still knew about being a dietitian was from school and, you know, in the conventional medical system. And I knew I didn't want to do that. And I didn't really know what else I could be doing. And I was like, okay, well, I know how to coach people one-on-one. I now know more about you know, a whole foods, whole body approach. I now know more about performance and fitness nutrition. So why not see how it goes? Yeah. And it really has offered me an opportunity to learn more, because now I have, you know, yes, I spend a lot of time on client work and things like that, but each client is an opportunity to research more about what's going on with that person. So I'm still learning with every single client that I have, which I don't know that I would have made a priority or made time for in a different job. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a different feeling when it all comes back on you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess it's just like really pressuring me to be better at how I coach people, how I help people, better at my job, make sure I know what I'm talking about. And if there's something I don't know, then I figure it out. So,
and I know you asked me this question.
Yeah.
What was the hardest part about starting your business other than obviously client acquisition? Was there any other part to it that was just like really tough?
Systematically, no. Systematically, my biggest barrier was just being afraid and like not feeling confident enough in myself that I could really do it. So I would say that stuff was a bigger barrier than anything related to like the actual business side. Like when it came to the business part, there's definitely a big learning curve, but I'm pretty good at identifying gaps and figuring it out. Like I will spend all day on the computer if I need to and look up every single thing you need to know about starting a business.
Yeah, you will.
And I'll figure it out, and I'll call whoever I need to call and ask whoever I need to ask. So I think really the biggest barrier for me was like myself. And being afraid.
What's your favorite part of the business? Or just running a business in general? What's the best part?
The best part about what I do is that I get to help the people that I get to help, and that, again, that I'm constantly learning and I have the opportunity to always be learning something new. The best part about owning my own business is, I mean, I guess just that it's cool to be in charge.
Cool to be in charge.
I don't know. I don't really know how to respond to like the business side of it, because I'm not as passionate about the business side as you are.
I mean, so like, do you enjoy working from home? Do you like being flexible with your hours?
I like the flexibility. Yes. Like all those things that you would like traditionally or stereotypically like think are cool about somebody owning their own business. Like, yes, it's more flexible. Like, yes, I like not having to go into an office every day. That's really nice. But also, I would say that all of those pros come with their own separate cons.
Oh, they have their own baggage for sure.
You know, like I do miss being around people sometimes. like, no offense, you're great, and I like working in the same room with you, but sometimes I want to see other people.
I like working alone, so it's fine.
So I should go work, at the coffee shop more is what you're telling me?
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, and flexibility-wise, it's like, yes, my schedule's flexible, but also if I need to work 15 hours in a day because things need to get done, then I have to work 15 hours in a day. Like, I don't have the option of just being able to turn everything off, especially since what I do is so personal and connected to people. So if I get a text message at 10 p.m. and it's urgent, I have to respond to that. Like, there's no escape really, or no set boundaries. Like, I should be better at setting them, but
you can set them.
I can, but at the end of the day, like, I do enjoy what I do, and I like having that availability for people because I get very invested in their health, sometimes more invested than my clients get.
So speaking of your clients, who do you enjoy working with?
I enjoy working with people who want to learn because, again, I like to teach people things. So the people who come to me and are like, just tell me what to eat, I don't really care, like, I'm trying to go through and explain the steps to them, and they're like, yeah, like, just tell me exactly what you want me to eat, and, like, have no real desire to learn why or desire to learn more about their body or more about their own health and how to manage their health. Those people frustrate me a little bit because I think we should all be learning more about our own bodies and our own health.
Yeah, so you want them to be invested in the why behind it?
Yes. Like, I want them to be receptive to learning and not just like, oh, I just want to hire somebody to tell me what to do. Like, it's okay if you also want that from me, but I want you to be, this whole process should be a learning process. Like, I want you to learn how to be self-sufficient so you don't need to pay me. So you don't need to pay a coach forever. And then I can feel confident that, like, I really, truly helped you. I think it's more selfish on my part of, like, maybe I don't feel like I really, truly helped someone if all I did was, like, write up a meal plan for them and didn't teach them anything, even though that's what they asked for. So, I just think that everybody needs to be more educated.
What about goal-wise? Is there a particular client with a certain type of goal that you like working with the most?
I like working with people who have chronic diseases more than anything else. The specific kind of chronic disease doesn't really matter. I think, and this probably connects to the fact that those people are more willing to learn. They want to learn because they want to understand what's going on with them. Not to say that I don't like other kinds of clients, but being able to teach somebody how to take control of their own health and their own body is cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it is.
And so where do you have any idea of what you'd like your business to turn into, where you'd like it to go?
No. I have no idea. I'll be honest. I'm not good at having, like, I don't even have a year plan.
So I think that goes back to the calendar, right?
Yeah, like, this is my problem with being organized.
So, like, that thing I talked about with the clients that I like to bring on and, like, the end goal, like, I don't think you'd be a very good client.
Well, we already know that I'd be the worst client for you. I'm, like, whiny, and I don't have a specific goal. I'd be that client that comes to you and is like, can you just make me skinnier?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, so,
yeah, I don't know. I think I'm still not sure if this is a stepping stone. I think, like, I'll always have my business forever, but I just don't know if it's always going to look like this.
So is there an element of what you're doing currently that you feel like you either don't want to continue doing, or is there an element that you feel like you're missing that you want to be doing?
Yeah, I want to be doing, like I said, I really like to educate people. So I would like to have more of my programming be like course-based. So, like, learning courses or, like, video modules, or having more educational resources put together for people. Because, again, I want this to be more of a learning process where you only are with me for the time that you need me to learn what you need to learn.
Right.
And then, feeling confident to go and do it on your own and be able to control your health for the rest of your life. So I think that I would like to transition at some point. And I still want to work one-on-one with people, just probably not as many people as I have been. And being able to direct certain people to certain programs or certain courses that I offer to help more people at once.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So do you have any initial ideas on what you're going to do with that, or is that still too far off?
It's still too far off, I think. It shouldn't be. I should say that I need to work on it now, but one step at a time. Yeah. I don't know. I think my first step is just probably recording more videos in general on my own, and then being able to like consolidate those into some sort of course. Yeah.
I like it. Anything else you want people to know about your business? Any final thoughts or notes?
I don't think so. Like you, I could probably talk about it forever, but I just want people to understand that I am as invested, if not more invested, in your long-term health whenever I work with a client. And that, like, our relationship is an actual relationship where, like, we need to communicate. And, we need, like,
you can say that.
Like, please respond to my emails. Please let me know what you're doing.
Send your check-ins.
Send your check-ins. And again, that's because I am invested in you getting to your goals. Like, you've told me that you want to accomplish something, and I want to see you do that. Yeah, that's about it, I think.
Awesome. Well, this is one of the longest ones we've done since our first episode, I think.
Yeah, this has been a long one. I guess we could just split it.
Yeah.
We could split it in 2 episodes.
Maybe we'll do that.
Maybe.
So, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in if you made it through this entire episode.
Yeah.
So if you have anything that you'd like us to cover in the future, feel free to reach out to myself at HypertroFit.com, and you can find Alexa at therootedrd.com, and we will see you guys again next week.
We will see you guys next week.